Very good morning, my dear students. Today you are going to learn about air and bone conduction. Okay, it is related with the audiogram testing. So, what will be the air conduction audible range? What will be in a bone conduction audible range? That you are going to learn it. So here. So this is the topic. Now you are seeing that diagram, that is a graph. Here it's showing that one is a normal hearing. So this left hand side, it is showing that low and high frequency response 250 to 2000. We are calling as a 250 to 2000 is called a lower frequency range. 2000 to 9000 we are calling as a higher frequency range. The audible decibel is given 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. It is given in a dB. That is a intensity level. So what will be the audible range? Okay. So this one it will show in the audiogram, and which is having some hearing threshold within the normal range. For the left ear, here in the graph we have already discussed the white areas represents sound that a person would not hear, and in this case softer than the threshold they are not able to hear, and the tan area we have already seen that is in conduction loss and sinusoidal neural loss. In that which white one is indicates that represent sound that person who cannot hear, and here the tan area indicates all the sound that the person would be able to hear, so louder than that the threshold. So this is the way they are measuring it, and loudness is measured in a decibel also. The unit of loudness decibel, and appear in a audiogram top to bottom down from 0 dB to 120 dB, that you are showing it is shown in the graph. So the number in the horizontal axis indicates pitches, that is called different types of frequency of sound, and frequency are measured in hertz. So that is you are seeing in the diagram here. Actually what is here in air conduction and bone conduction, so you are going to learn it. First we will see about hearing assessment, and here the accurate autologic diagnosis which is depend on a reliable and accurate test of hearing, the result helping in finding the point of lesion and the type of treatment to be given. The patient may be screened in coarse way, or more than a sophisticated testing procedure may be followed. The test compares air and bone conduction hearing. So they are using the tuning fork test. The name is called a Rinser test. So what is here? They will strike the 512 hertz tuning fork softly, and after that they place the vibrating fork. They are placing the vibrating fork on the base of the mastoid bone, and as the client to tell about the when the sound is no longer to heard. After that they will note the time interval and immediately move to the tuning fork to the auditory matters, and ask the subject to tell when the sound is no longer to hear or not. So after that the following one they are having noting down. One is a time interval. So here what are in time interval, what they are going to find means, first one they will find a normal hearing clients will note in a air conduction twice as the bone conduction. Second one they will find with the conductive hearing loss bone conduction sound is eared longer than or equally as longer as the air conduction. Third, they will find with the sensorineural hearing loss, air conductions heard longer than the bone conduction in affected ear, but less than the 2:1 ratio. And so here you are seeing the diagram is a Weber test. This Weber test is a quick screening for hearing. It can detect the unilateral, that is a one side conductive hearing losses, and unilateral sensorineural hearing loss also can be find out with the help of Weber's test. So this test is named after Ernst Heinrich Weber. So in the Weber test, a 512 Hz tuning fork is placed on the patient forehead. If the sound is lateralized, that is louder one side the other, the patient may have either conductive hearing loss or contralateral sensorineural hearing loss. So in both, that is in the Weber test, a vibrating tuning fork either 256 or 512 Hz is placed in the middle of forehead equidistand from the patient ears. The patient is asked to report in which ear the sound is louder. In a normal patient, the sound is heard equally loud in both ears. That is no lateralization. So however, the patient with the symmetrical hearing losses will have the same finding, thus there is a diagnosis utility, only the asymmetric hearing loss. So here in asymmetric hearing loss, the following information we can follow it. One is distinguish between the conductive and sensorineural hearing loss. Second one, strike at the 512 Hz tuning forks softly. Place the vibrating fork on the middle of the client head. Fourth, ask the client if the sound is heard better in one ear or same in the both ears. So here, if the hearing is normal, the sound is symmetrical with no lateralization. The sound is localized towards the poor ear with the conductive losses. The sound localized towards the good ear with the sensorineural hearing loss. So now we will first discuss about the air conduction. So here what is air conduction? We will discuss. It is a process of transmitting sound waves to the cochlea by a way of outer and middle ear. In a normal hearing, practically all the sounds are transmitted in the way except those ear's own voice, which are transmitted partially by the bone conduction. Now we will discuss the bone conduction. What is bone conduction? In a contact sound, sound conducted through the bone bypass outer the middle ear. It directly set up a travelling wave in the cochlea and stimulate the cochlea and central auditory pathways. By comparing the auditory threshold using these two methods, we can determine the side of the hearing loss. One is a bone conduction, that is conduction of sound to the inner ear through the bone of the skull. The bone conduction is the reason why a person's voice sound different to him here when it's recorded and played back. And bone conduction tends to amplify to the lower frequencies, and so the pupil hear their own voice as being of lower pitch than if actually is. So audiometric test for adults. So the following audiometric tests are being conducted for adults. One is audiometric test normally, which included for pure tone testing of threshold by both air conduction and bone conduction. Second one, speech reception threshold, that is called SRT. Third one is speech discrimination score, that is called SDS. So these tests are normally required to cooperation of subject whose response to the sound is indicated by some gestures, that is example raised hand. And testing is typically carried out in a sound attenuated room with the subjective listening to the carefully calibrated sounds. So now we will see that a threshold sensitivity testing, which is used in air conducted pure tones. So that is another one, we have to learn it. Here the testing is done using the earphones, thereby allowing the each ear to examine independently. Tones are reduced intensity until they no longer heard, at which point the examiner alternatively raises and lowers the intensity of sound until the just detectable threshold is determined. This is repeated at the several frequency with the audible range and the result plotted on the audiogram. So the shape of the curve is measured of the frequency sensitivity of both middle ear and inner ear. So it's a differentiate between the middle ear, that is called conductive loss, and inner ear, that is for sensorineural loss. For both the component to hearing the loss, it is necessary to conduct the additional tests. So here the testing is done with the vibrator placed somewhere on the skull. That testing is plotted and procedure are same as the airborne conduction. Airborne conduction test, and sound is transmitted directly to the cochlea by bone conduction, thereby passing the transmission mechanism of middle ear. Thus the audiogram obtained using both bone and air conducted sounds provide the information about the integrity of both middle and inner ears, which is a difficulty in hearing only air conducted sound result in a separation of bone and air conduction audiogram. So that's why we are calling as a air-bone gap. Thank you very much for listening the classes. We'll see it in the next.